today, what a freaking crazy day, first of all, with all this stuff going on. Mm-hmm. All the stuff going on with the Trump and Elon stuff. Like, holy freaking. I think we knew that it would happen at some point, but
somebody said on Twitter today, I did predict this months ago, like right after the inauguration. I was like, can they still be for how long is this going to last with our friends?
I think everybody knew that it would go sideways, but I don't think that we knew it would suddenly go sideways and they'd start nuking each other.
Like publicly on Twitter.
Now, part of me still thinks there's a chance it's a bit.
Maybe.
Part of me still thinks there's a chance it's a bit. Absolutely. So we're going to get into that.
For Elon to recover his business, that kind of bit? Like, so that people stop calling him a Nazi? And his shareholders don't get mad at him?
Well, right. That's another thing that it could be. Yet for the shareholders are, I don't know. There's 60 chess, happening.
Okay.
So anyway, so let me tell you about my day first, because we have a lot of people listening and a lot of people who don't usually listen or watch from Connecticut. So this is how the day went. And my PD says, can we have a Zoom call? Oh, no, could we have a call later? And then says, can we have a Zoom? And then says, 3:30, whatever. Because I had to go see my son. And then have a Zoom call later. And I said, sure, that's fine. We don't usually have a Zoom call. So I'm like, okay, so one of two things is going to happen here.
Well, and your contract is up in like 2 weeks.
And my contract's up in 2 weeks. And so I thought, so the Zoom thing came up later. So maybe there's going to be a PD is program director. So there's going to be who's great. She's awesome, by the way. Her name's, I don't know, it doesn't matter what her name is, but she's great. And I thought two things would happen here. That one, they're going to say, we want to re-up you and cut your rate. Cut your salary. Mm-hmm. I thought that might be something. So I'm readying for that. And then I thought the other thing could be that we want to put me in a different day part. And I'm thinking about that. And my thought then was like, okay, so you're taking me out of middays. You're going to put me in AM drive or PM drive, then I'm going to ask for more money. Because it's a bigger day part.
Right.
To which I was ready then for them to say no, and to which I would have accepted anyway. So, but I thought that's how it would go.
Which is kind of like how you got the job too.
And once again, the managers at these places they're great. They're great. This is one of these places where a lot of radio places have a lot of plasticky and weaselly people. This does not. This is one of those that was much like Greater Media, where these people have worked together for decades. And there's a family feeling to it, and it's not like this corporate acts of Entercom or anything coming. Like this, it's not like that. There, these are people who like and care about each other. If I were to speculate, I would say that they have done whatever they could to keep people in jobs, even though corporate probably wants more heads on a platter. I would speculate that that's. I don't know for sure, but they have nothing been great from day one. Colleagues, great from day one. Fantastic. So when I thought the third thing would be is it's just a whacking. Thursday night whacking. And so I did notice it when I got a Zoom invite. And to me, the Zoom thing was interesting. So it was going to be something more. It was going to be something that and if you've been in management, you know this, that you're getting more documentation from. And that's why Zoom. So we're not just... We're not just having a conversation, but we're doing it in as personal a fashion as possible. So very quickly in the Zoom meeting, when I saw the two people, the fact that the other person was invited to the Zoom meeting told me, either it's a whacking or an offer that's not good, but he's good at negotiation, so. That might be it. Very quickly, it became a whacking in the nicest possible way. And I got to tell you, it was not, they didn't re-up my contract. Now, there is no time in 4 years that I ever doubted that having a live and local midday show made any sense, because that costs money. I cost money, even though I have an advertiser or couple, or maybe did. hardly any station has a midday show. So for WTIC in Connecticut to do what they have done is remarkable and unbelievable that this is happening in 2025. They still have a full news staff, people in there like reporting and reading news, and they've got news, sports, like that's unheard of these days. So if you're in Connecticut, you are lucky that this is like that they have
it's
this.
Existed as long as it has. I mean,
yes, and to have live midday show. Another thing I was saying, so I have effectively been whacked. I'm gone. Tomorrow is my last day, and then I'm not in Connecticut anymore, unless somebody else grabs me up. I don't think there's anything keeping them from it. But it is it would make it so easy if these people were dishonest backstabbers, but they're not. They were great. This station is a great station. They have been nothing but accommodating to me. I got very little direction. They very rarely corrected me. If anything, it was style points, using, which were good style points too, because they challenged me on using words that were lazy. Calling the Democrats in the state idiots or crazy. It might be fun for us, but it's a little lazy. Tell people what you mean. That's it. But they never said you can't talk about this. Like there was never any of this. So like I don't have this. So many people get fired in radio have this chance to say management sucked. They didn't suck. They don't suck. They're really great, as a matter of fact. And I hope like that's if talk is gonna last at all, then that's what it's gonna be. I have worked for some people in the past at other places that were not great, that specifically told us what to say and what not to say. And I would give you their names right now, but I'm hoping they might hire me. So I'm not going to give you any names. So that is what I'd say. I will tell you this. It did sting more than I thought it would. Even though I've been at every day, I've been ready for it. And like when I used to work at Greater Media with Michael Graham on the Michael Graham Show, all my stuff was in a bin. I was ready to be whacked, and he was ready to be whacked. We were ready to be at any second when we were going to be whacked. We were out, and we were. Mm-hmm. And that time, it's funny because that time it was so interesting over there at the time. So much chaos that I was almost amused. You remember at the time, Alice, mm-hmm. we were together. I was amused at being whacked because it was so cool to see somebody get whacked. Of course, that person was me, but how they did it was so memorable. It was very interesting. So yes, it does feel weird because my mind is set around I've got to be thinking and getting ready for the show and working on things like that. In my morning.
Well, you've been in this routine of having this show on this station for these listeners for 4 years.
Yes.
That's a long time to have any job, really, in this day and age, to have like one routine, one job, not change. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yes, it is. It is a big deal. And this routine became just a part of my life to get ready, and it was benefited by this show and benefited by having morning conversations with you that I would then steal your takes and use them on the air. And to do, I was so happy to be not talking about Massachusetts politics. Like, I don't know who the Speaker of the House is in Mass. I don't know who the President of the Senate is. I know who the governor is. I don't know who the lieutenant governor is. Is that her wife or something? I have no idea. And I was happy to say goodbye to it. Although I'll be happy to not say goodbye to it in a second at WRKO if you're looking for me. But with Connecticut, it was fun because it like every blue state, it's got the same corruption, the same wokeness, the same insanity. But I got to meet new characters who were doing it. I get to discover them all new, and they didn't have Boston accents. Not that there's anything wrong with Boston accent. Any of you guys, Tim and whatever.
Also, everyone in Boston media.
Right, yes. And anyone in Boston media, by the way, I have no problem with that.
You definitely don't hate Boston accents. You find them charming.
That's exactly right.
And you find people doing bits with their Dunkin' Donuts and their Boston accent to be incredibly entertaining. Exactly. And
I think that saying I'm Boston's bulldozer is a very good tagline, and I can be a bulldozer too. So that's going to be different. The like in my life to not ramp up to the show, because there's something that you do when you get ready for a radio show. I'm listening to this stuff overnight. I start waking up and then not waking up, at 5 or whatever, and then my daughter eventually comes over and asks me for a ride at like 6:53 or whatever it is, and by then I've had little specks of what I'm going to be talking about, and then I do a few hours of deep dive, and then there's that feel that in everybody, I think everybody can understand that what am I going to do? 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 And then you look in deep dive and do show prep and listen, and then you're all set. And then looking for, okay, let's go. We've got the best game plan there is. Let's go. Sometimes things go to bleep, and sometimes things work out. But like, I'm not going to have that process. I'll do all those things anyway. But like that process for 11 a.m. or whatever is going to be gone. I mean, no, well, it's not going to be gone. It's just not going to be put anywhere. So
you should think about like
doing a Connecticut podcast.
No, not a Connecticut podcast necessarily, but because your passion's not in the local stuff really, but you should think about doing like a New York Times daily style short, like what your monologue on the show would be. Whether it's Connecticut focused or Massachusetts focused or not, whether it's just national news focused, but like what you come up with in the morning and do like your monologue, play a few news things if you have news things that you want to do, but a sort of like what your stuff of the day is like in the morning, because I think that's unique. It doesn't overlap with this show necessarily. Like we do news stuff obviously, but it's just a different animal. But just a short like news of the day, your quick like take thing, and it would be very easy to like throw it together and make it a short, easy listen kind of thing.
True, I could.
Like
or I could also
Monday
do
through Friday morning, like easy, quick, because you're gonna have all that mentally anyway,
yes.
like pent up, and you're in the habit of doing it, and you like doing those monologues, especially that first chunk of the show that you like rev up for. I hear you getting revved up for it every day.
Right.
Like that part you love doing. Like you should just do it and put it on a podcast feed, because we have a friggin' podcast network feed sitting here to put it on. So
and put it on this feed.
We have on the on our hosting site, you can make it its own.
Oh, a new
feed.
one like all you can eat is there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you could do that. But you could certainly like tease it on this feed.
I could
Post
also
the first
do
couple episodes both places so people know where to find it and know about it.
Right. And what would the scope be? National or just everything?
What? Yeah, do national. Do whatever you want to talk about. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
That was what the show was supposed to be, but then, it became its own animal.
I could also do the Shat Stack, like my friend Mutt.
You blew it on Substack.
I know. But hold on, it's been paused.
Oh.
Been paused.
I would write for free for a while before you start asking people for money on it again. I'm just saying.
But by the way, if you feel free to join Patreon here and get all those wonderful benefits that you get, which means no commercials and extra content.
It means you get to do this every day.
Yes, absolutely. So that's an idea. I could also do the main wire for either Massachusetts, although I've been out of it, or
Splash says you should be the Shattuck steamroller, flattening all the liberal BS.
I love it. Or I could do the main wire for Connecticut. Have a web presence and
or for Massachusetts.
But also although
you recently, due to a school project, a middle school project, discovered the joys of watching school committee meetings.
Yes,
you could do that and make a companion Substack that you could write on that's just like all local meeting crud and the people who go to those and the things they say, because there's a world of discovery there. No one's doing local news anymore.
That's true. Now, the only problem is that unless it hits, all this stuff would be free or for pennies. And there's also the thing I can't be Mike Nansky. I have to get a job. Like we have to work.
Yeah, have to work. Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to do something. And that's the part that I dread the most. Like, am I going to go somewhere and be a manager of something? No, that's the part that I look forward to the most. Is once again working alongside of people and being a manager and making big decisions. like what I think that this may have been my last gig where the work is really just all fun.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, it's amazing. Like, they were paying me not a ton, but for Intercom, a ton for a midday show
Mm-hmm.
to say whatever I want to for 3 or 4 hours a day. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
No wonder why they fired me. I mean, that's what a waste.
Tommy New Hampshire says you should go sports talk. Splash says you need a picture of you behind a microphone pointing at the camera because you're going to get in their face.
That's right. Oh, the mic pictures. Oh, here's my fun mic flags. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's going to be weird Monday to not be on in Connecticut because I do think I could just be off here, but I think that show and the experience of my show is in that state unlike anything else there is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unlike anything else there is. I don't think it can be duplicated, and I don't think.
Do you know yet? Even well, maybe you can't say, but like what they're gonna do with your time slot?
Yeah, Eric Erickson, I think.
Oh, okay.
We'll have that time slot. Then they're bringing a new show. I think. Maybe I shouldn't say this. But they'll be fine with it. I mean, it just makes sense. Obviously, it's middays. It's going to be syndicated. And then who knows what happens? I mean, they've done a very good job in that station of preserving.
Julie suggests you work at Market Basket.
I don't scoff at it. I'll tell you that much. I don't whatsoever. I could also pitch myself as a job, like a podcast, social media influencer, like do a Market Basket show.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that forever. I could talk about life in society through the realm of lens of what's happening at Market Basket. I'd love that. I'd go there every day, multiple times a day. Or I could pitch another show for whatever. I'll pitch everybody again. I'll throw it to everybody. Supposedly, one of the guys, I think it was Tommy, was saying that Megyn Kelly has there is this Burn Barrel podcast is a pitchable podcast. I'll have a little more time to pitch it. What are you laughing at?
They're talking about how you could go into sports talk. Charlie said baseball is your strength.
Well,
Splash says the Celtics will trade Jaylen Brown and Tom will flip it into a story about how he parked the car of this MILF from New Jersey.
Yeah, I could talk about baseball if it's the 1982 Red Sox with Reed Nichols. Other than that, I'm going to be out of it. But maybe there's a market for that. Who knows? Like I could talk about baseball in the most insignificant years, like the rise and fall of Carney Lansford. I could take advantage of all day. Other than that, I don't think I could do anything. Or just be curmudgeonly about it, about walk-on music. That might be something I could do. But we'll see. We'll see. The thing I would like to do is do my own creative stuff. But like everybody else my age who's off on not everybody else, but most people doesn't work out financially to do your own creative stuff or for a lot of people. But we'll see. Those of you who enjoyed me on WTIC, please enjoy the Burn Barrel podcast where I will be 5 nights a week for 1 hour going forward.
Maybe something else. When I mentioned a short show in the mornings, people were saying they want you on a long form show.
On one.
I mean, they want you to make your morning podcast long form.
I could reach out to VP. Me and VP could do one. He's New York. I'm Connecticut, really. Or Massachusetts at the same time. He's good. Then again, I mean, who knows? Who knows? I also don't know how dangerous he'd be because he probably wants a gig somewhere. But who knows? Maybe all the gigs are done. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we both knew at least that the days of talk radio gigs on AM talk radio stations in sort of lower tier markets are like numbered.
Well, yeah. And
there's just not, I mean, like this was always like playing with the house's money a little bit.
Well, I totally agree, and I think also like the thing that saved WRK in Boston right now is that Howie's syndicated on there. They're not paying him anymore. Don't just read them, Mels.
Says Tom Shattuck's jam scams. Trish says, it's a saxophone, Charlie. Newfound 80s bands.
Nobody knew about that band. There's nobody who knew about Rainbow, for freak's sake.
Tommy, New Hampshire says Megan Kelly does the 20-minute news of the day early AM. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I get
Those
that.
people do that because a lot of people are looking for that in the morning. Are looking for like a quick hit, like what's going on.
Well, is that... That's
Tommy, New Hampshire says Tom on the Crapper AM news.
If it works. Imagine that. Well, the problem is that, I mean, I could do a morning news wrap-up show. The only challenge is that if suddenly I'm driving an Amazon truck, out of Haverhill next month, then I can't do it. So whatever I do has to be a thing.
Maybe you can get a good union job with like a pension and
longshoremen.
Yeah, I think those are all. I think the longshoreman jobs are all like nepotism. Like I don't think you can get those unless you are related to somebody
else. I go in and go out in disability in the same hour.
So, but maybe there's a good union gig around here somewhere.
It's also possible that like I'll get a sniff from somebody who wants a radio show, but then, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that the Burn Barrel Show podcast is a unique podcast because you've got me, the Indiana Jones, subtle intellectual genius, and then you, the nerd. Like I told you before, I'm Luke Skywalker. You're R2 in the back of the X-Wing fighter.
Okay.
You know, I have
Am I supposed to be insulted by that?
No.
I like being R2.
Yeah, you are R2. That's right. So I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, I've just put it in my LinkedIn. I've gotten spammed
you
on
have
LinkedIn.
Now you have the little green, like looking for work.
Yeah.
Open to work or whatever it
seems so pathetic, and I'm getting spammed.
Hey, I got my job on LinkedIn.
I know, but the thing is, like...
You have to post about, like, I don't know. Like,
I do?
Cringy things. You have to join some groups and then, like, post about, like, the modern media environment and, like, the challenges. You can have ChatGPT spit some stuff out.
Oh, really?
And then just put it on your profile and, like, you'll seem smart.
I don't... What? What does that mean? Why can't I just do it off the cuff?
It's easier to just have like Grok or ChatGPT do it.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what I don't know what I'm doing. To my listeners in Connecticut, I certainly will miss talking to you guys if I'm... But then again, you can always...
You can come to the Burn Barrel.
Come to the Burn Barrel podcast. We have a thing called the Chat where you can leave a message under a minute. And we'll read those as well. And I do have one final show tomorrow, which is another thing that not all PDs, not all management let you do in radio because
people do unpredictable things
because
sometimes.
They've been burned. But I will not burn them. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I think I'll probably just have a show, probably have Steve Robinson on and VB on, and do mostly a show. I don't think that I'm going to spend. I think I'm going to have one. I have one local state rep on. I think in the third hour. But I mean, what would you do? Like? Do people want like funeral radio? Do we want an hour where people say goodbye? Or the worst case scenario is an hour where I design it for people to say goodbye and nobody says goodbye. Of course, that's the other problem.
Or do you do a normal show and then in the like last?
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that the thing to do is do a full normal show like normal, and then in the last like 5 minutes you say like that it's your last one. And
I see.
Them. Yeah.
So the only way to connect, I see that. So then I slingshot them towards the burn barrel.
Yeah. So but I think too, I think that like, I think you do like a great show and then you do it at the very end of the show. Although probably a bunch of them listen to this also, so they're going to call in and start saying it early in the first hour.
I got to say another thing to my friend, my good friend, George. He's the greatest guy in the world. Did you just say thong? Oh, song. Okay. Okay. Um, uh, I. This
But
is
do
what I would
most of
say
your
to.
Listeners even know how to use the podcast app in Connecticut?
Yeah, a lot of them have listened now.
Okay.
Yeah, Rudy calls, he listens. This is what I'd say is thank you guys. It's people have offered to reach out to try to help like me and look for jobs and like keep their heads up and this and that. And thank you very much. That's very nice. This is what I would say though. If you're not in media, please don't try to do media things for me. Because my good friend George decided that when I told him today that we're not going to be on anymore, he decided to go to Barrett Media, tell them that I was quitting, and then so that they would write a feature on me, Barrett Sports Media. And now the Barrett Media guy is reaching out to me, and it's like, you don't do that. I know how to reach out to media folks. Thank you. I understand. Thank you. I know. I also, you don't do, I'm like in conversations, the departure conversations with my company. I can't be on a media tour about the oh, don't help that way. I can handle all the media stuff unless you're in media, but like I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's just like that is to have a spread after our confidential conversation yesterday in a media in a media thing. It would not be a good idea. It's not a good idea. It just I'll handle the media. I'll handle that part of it. That's all I'm saying. It's like it's not. You know, my employers would not put a press release out without running it by me, and
Right.
like I wouldn't about them. And tomorrow is the last day, and they were afforded me a last day, which is wonderful. So we like that. We like that very much. But I do think that it's going to be a normal last day. Now I've beat this down long enough. Should we talk about Trump and or yes?
I don't know. Trouble in Paradise.
I don't know if it is. So Trump and Musk now hate each other. Trump says Musk wanted the EV rebates in the big, beautiful bill. Trump cut them out. Musk said he's a liar. And Musk said that Trump is in the Epstein files. Seems to me if Trump was in the Epstein files, Democrats would have smoked him out a long time ago. There's no way Merrick Garland would have not made sure that was front and center 4 years ago. But that's the big thing now. Not only that, but now Mark Levin is going at it with Roger Stone and Tucker Carlson. And there is a full-on freaking Donnybrook in the GOP and among conservative circles here with people like throwing each other over. And there's all sorts of scrapping going on. Charlie Kirk, Musk unfollowed Charlie Kirk and this person. So people like, I don't even know. It's a Donnybrook. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know who belongs where, what's happening where. I can tell you this. I'm not bothered by it. It's like very interesting.
Right.
Part of me thinks the Musk-Trump thing is a bit. Although to throw somebody in the Epstein pile seems a little personal. It also seems like a wacky thing to do. So like if you're trying to say that Musk is trying to make shareholders feel good about Tesla or whatever, or the board of directors, whatever they have over there, coming across totally unhinged may not be the way to do it. Unless this is that they're going to try to win back all the... I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and we're not in it, and so it's hard to know exactly, but it's also the only other thing I'm bummed about is that it's stepping all over the news of people starting to leak that Karine Jean-Pierre is a big dummy.
Totally.
Which is a great story, and I
Yes.
love that people are leaking it, that she's incompetent and stupid and like couldn't understand any of the policy issues and
Yes.
was mad that they put her out there and she didn't know how to answer the questions. And I love that story. That's so great. So I'm sad that that's like taking attention from that. Where is the... And I'm sad about the NASA guy, the guy that...
Jared Isaacman, his name is, and Trump apparently nominated this guy, loved this guy, and then whacked him.
Just said the president had decided to go in a different direction. We all serve at the pleasure of the president. Now, I mean, I started to get some more details as it went on. I honestly also I'm not I don't play dumb on this. I had a pretty good idea of I don't think that the timing was much of a coincidence, that, there was other changes going on the same day. And it was kind of obviously a little bit of a disappointment.
So are you referring to Elon?
I just, there was obviously there was more than one, departure that was covered on that day, and it became at least from what I've heard, that it was there was a there was, and I'm just, I read the news same as everybody else, but I had obviously was in DC for the last 6 months getting ready, that there were some people that that had some axes to grind, I guess, and I was a good visible target. I know that like the news talks a lot about like the Democratic donations as the cause. That was not a new development. You just Google, they're all public.
The New York Times published an article saying that.
Yeah, so he's like a startup-y guy.
Yeah,
Apparently, he was a big Elon guy, but they were going to have him head NASA. He's an astronaut, too. I mean, I personally, I think space is really important for the future of our country, from a defense perspective, from a communications perspective, for, all kinds of reasons. I think space is really important. But,
Yep.
So I would appreciate having somebody running NASA who doesn't think it's a joke, like the entire Democrat Party thinks it's a joke, which is disappointing given their heritage and Kennedy's history with this stuff. But they've decided that it's that it's somehow elitist to be into scientific development in space and stuff. Why aren't we helping poor people? Why are we spending all this money to go to Mars when we could be helping poor
Elon's
people?
bad
It's
now, yeah.
It's these dumb arguments about it. So remember Jen Psaki laughing about the Space Force stuff, the plane of the future. She made fun of it, and I think that it would be good to have people in charge. I'm disappointed about the Elon stuff, to be honest. I liked him. I thought the Doge stuff was good.
Mm-hmm.
I like having people who are smart and doers and successful involved in the administration.
Yeah, and when you listen to the All In podcast talk about the way Doge went about it, it was a really great operation. Yeah,
and I don't consider necessarily all of these other people around Trump to necessarily be of the same caliber, though they have fewer conflicting interests, clearly. Elon has a lot going on, right? He's not a pure Trump loyalist. There's a lot of people around Trump who I think are pure Trump loyalists. But I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. We don't know the underlying story of it. We don't. I mean, like you say, it's not exactly genius that I predicted this months ago, because these are two very big personalities. And I think anybody could really see that there was going to be trouble at some point, because neither one of them likes being contradicted or stymied in what they want to do.
And they don't like taking, both of their brands and their capital was hurt, reputationally or politically, at certain points. And I don't think they like not having the power to cover themselves off, because the other guy is another pillar there. Well,
right. And I mean, I certainly know a lot of people that I know that are sort of in the RFK Jr. wing of the party don't like the Elon stuff because they feel that he wants to chip us all and replace us all with AI, which is sort of true. I mean, I don't know. It kind of is. I definitely don't agree with Elon about all that stuff, but I think it's sort of the end of this honeymoon of the Trump administration being everybody on the same team, all pulling together. We're going to get all this stuff done. It really feels like it's starting to splinter and fracture a little bit, which is sad.
It's sad, but
if they don't get the frigging tax cuts done, that's a problem. Right. I mean, I don't care about most of the stuff in this bill, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I don't want to explode the deficit forever. I think they have to make the Doge cuts as permanent as they can, and they have to extend the Trump tax cuts from 2017. They have to. I mean, they can't. Trump's legacy can't be getting everybody a big tax hike next year.
Well, right.
I mean, that's not. He's cooked if that's what it is. So
Yeah. Oh, they all are.
whatever they do to this bill, they have to get it into a form where it can pass somehow.
Yes.
All of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy.
So that does ascribe to Elon, malicious intentions.
Yeah.
But so does saying that Trump was on the Epstein list. So who knows? Who knows what these guys are doing? I don't know. Meanwhile, Alice, I have Dave Portnoy still in the news.
All right, real quick. I got a conference, but this rant, I'm going viral per use, trending on Twitter. That's what this guy does. I open my mouth and it just goes everywhere. I know it, clip, that's the deal. The latest one, me and Kirk from Unnamed, me yelling at Kirk, and you got everyone, oh, how could Dave ever
By
talk?
the way, I've gone back and forth with some people today. I stand with Portnoy totally on this. Totally. The problem is this, is that a lot of these people, and it's stoolies and minifans and just people who don't love Portnoy, they don't understand that he's not playing the game anymore. He's not, when it comes to Jews being killed, he's not doing bits. He's not doing Barstool.
Right.
He's doing, they're trying to annihilate us. And so they're like, oh, Dave's being a hypocrite. And Dave, no, he's not, he's taking a time out. There's a fire in the building now, so he's running down the staircase. And you're like, Dave, you're out of character. That's so, like, no, there's a fire now. It's an emergency. And so I don't understand how people don't get
What
that.
do you think about Minahan saying, like, that they have got him now, that he's, like, ruined and defined by this, like, Stern or whatever? Did you see that cut floating?
I think that's the bullshit thing to say, in weak-ass sauce by Kirk, and he should know better. He knows that Dave has another situation here. It's an emergency situation where Jews are being killed, and so Dave's freaking upset. Not only is he Jewish, but he's high profile, and he's been seeing a lot of this, these threats, etc. And so that's cheap ass by Kirk. He has been to suggest that, like, Stern just became a bitch because he wanted to always join the beautiful people. Dave is keeping it as real as possible, but he's got a problem now. Okay, it's like Stern just always wanted to hang out with Susan Sarandon. Portnoy's different. First of all, he's always said that he wanted to have a lot of money, but he's being as consistent as he can be. He's not going to have. Dave thinks there's an existential threat against him and other Jews, and so he's not going to have somebody who's doing Jewish bits or anti-Semitic bits on his platform.
Right.
Not now. No, because the Jews are really dying
And he
in places.
said that in that cut that you were starting to play, which is long. It's like 5 minutes
Yeah.
long, but where he says, like, look, I don't want anybody thrown in jail. I don't care, but you're a piece of bleep if this is your moment where you're pulling this out of your bag of tricks. And he's like, I've never complained about Jew jokes once in my entire career. Like, it's never been a thing, right? The difference is now that they're, like, murdering Jews. So, but yeah.
Well,
and,
right.
You know, the chat is saying Mick's on Twitter talking about, like, suing and doing a lawsuit.
Yeah, I assume he's just kidding, but
I mean, he didn't seem like he was, but yeah.
And that's weak if he is, and he did something too today where he said shalom or whatever, and that's cool with the bros, and that's fine. But Dave's not in bro mode when it comes to this stuff. And I like Mick. I think he's a good guy. I think that he's getting bad advice. For these people who talk about free speech, it has nothing to do with free speech. You don't have a constitutional right to be in Barstool Sports saying whatever. Like, shut up about this. There's been some real idiots today who are talking about this, and then the ones who just think that the Jews are genociding. That's different. You know, they're way deep into YouTube stuff and they're whatever. But you have no right to Dave Portnoy.
Well, yeah, that's my favorite one. It's like, Dave Portnoy is acting so Jewish about this. Like, what, you mean, like, he takes exception to being murdered? Like, he'd prefer not to be? Is that a Jewish trait? Because I don't know what to. I can't really be upset about that. It's so strange to me. Like, we've been over this 1,000 times since October 7th happened, but, like, it's just not something I'm ever gonna understand.
All right, Broski and Hutch.
All right,
you
we
got
got
anything
chat
else?
chat. That's it
Oh,
for
chat
me.
chat. Jesus, I'm sorry, I forgot that. Do you know what I mean when I say Broski and Hutch?
Like Starsky and Hutch.
Ooh, you know that from the early 2000s film?
I knew they made an early 2000s film, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't know really what the source material is or the movie is. I never saw it. But I heard those two names put together.
So, TIC listeners, by the way, if you want to be on the air on Tom Shattuck's Burn Barrel, go to the chat chat. Go to burnbarrelpodcast.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see something there that says chat chat. It's about a 1997 looking button. And just hit that and you can record a message.
I can't believe I totally missed on the rainbow music. I just stuck with the political. Here's my chance to rip on Tom.
Oh, no.
Richie Blackmore, and as you mentioned, yes, he was part of Deep Purple, put together a little side project called Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. He had various singers, like Ronnie James Dio was a singer. And Deep Purple went through some iterations in the late 70s. They were big in the early 70s and mid 70s, and then they kind of, split apart. That's just how bands work.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, Tom, they were all over MTV. Like Steve said, they were. That song was big, and it was in heavy rotation. And
it was not.
Maybe you were too busy watching, I don't know, Cyndi Lauper or Madonna or Pet Shop Boys.
I tell you, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. No. You know what was all over MTV at the time, Alice? This little baby right here. This was what was a. You know this, right?
That's the balloon thing.
Ooh, it's a handsome crowd.
What's that sound?
Anyway, you get it. All right. That was what was on, and a couple of other things. They essentially, the British made up all of those videos because they were doing videos already. All right. Where am I going? Right back here.
Hey, Tom, I'm a solutions guy, so I'm here to help. Just want to let you know, looking over on Craigslist, and I see that someone's looking for an Asian model. I don't know. I think you could probably pull that off. $200 a day.
Ooh.
There is a listing for somebody looking.
Do I make $200 a day now? It's $1,000 a week, right?
You make more than that now.
Yeah, I did.
To have someone join their podcast if you are the black sheep of the family. I know it's just you and Jimmy, but I'm going to say you probably were the black sheep.
I think so.
And they're looking for you to tell your story. Don't know if there's any money, but there might be
exposure,
some sort of exchange in merchandise or favors.
All right.
My next stop is the casual encounter, so stay tuned because I have a feeling there's people that might be looking for, a big husky type. We'll let you know, buddy.
I would sell myself. I'd rather not sell myself to men.
Do you ever wonder if you're listed in like missed connections? Like
I posted on there right before I met you, and I was like refreshing like a MF. My dog mauled somebody else's dog, and she was like really cute, the girl, and like I was like posted on there, like
so now
this
you
is
can
fake.
go look at them and be like, "Are you the handsome man who is picking through the dented cans in Market Basket?"
Do you think people have noticed me?
Probably, I would.
Hi, Steve from Merriman.
Hey, Steve.
Tom, given the revelations of today, I just want to say that I've said some hurtful things about you over the
Indeed.
past several years on the
Indeed.
chat, and I just want you to know I take them all back.
Thank you. Well, there you
All
go.
of them.
See?
Starting with first and foremost, you're not a queen.
Yes.
That was more projection than truth. Thank you. Also, I do think you have wonderful taste in music. I myself had never heard of the band Rainbow before the previous
Right, Steve? Nobody's heard of Rainbow.
72 hours. That's the truth, Tom. Your recall of
I am starting to think if there are undertones of sarcasm happening here, Alice.
current events is unprecedented. Your ability to recall pop culture correctly is among the finest I have ever heard.
Thank you.
And your technical wizardry on the burn barrel is second to none. It's not like
Alice, okay, now I am seriously wondering whether or not some of this is facetious. Thoughts?
I can't imagine it would be facetious, honey.
there's ever any errant sound being played while you and Alice are talking over each other. It's been a magnificent run. But I just want to let you know, I love you guys. I love the podcast. I'm a loyal guy. And if you up the Patreon fee, I will oblige, because that's how much I believe in the show. But love you guys. Take care.
Thank you, Steve. He said, I think the end part was real.
That's nice. I like that.
Should there be a super platinum for $1,000 a month level?
Who do you think is going to sign up for $1,000?
I don't know, but I need 200 people to do that. Wouldn't that be great? That would be really great. Maybe my job, Alice.
Maybe you should focus on getting like 200 people to sign up for $10 a month first.
Alice, maybe my job should simply be GoFundMe. Remember I did the GoFundMe for when I got COVID?
Maybe you can go on disability. I don't know.
Ooh, I definitely qualify for all sorts of disability. Maybe I'll do that again. We're doing GoFundMe full time. Full time.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Thanks for being with us today. It was great having everyone join us in the chat, Patreon people and non-Patreon people. If you like doing that, you can go to patreon.com/burnbarrel and join there, because we do that every day. You can also
From the mind of Mindy Kaling.
Go to just burnbarrelpodcast.com. There's links to places to listen for free, like Spotify and that stuff. And, we'll see you on Sunday.
Mind your own damn business.